and welcome back to ATLB. I'm Lexi from Lexi Jonk, and this is Jen from Just Glow Firefly. And we are happy to be here on this wonderful Sunday. Today, we wanted to talk a little bit about two pretty prominent beauty retailers.
Yeah.
Jen, you want to fill us in?
Well, so it seems as though Ulta is bringing their A game nowadays. And we just kind of wanted to talk about maybe the rise of Ulta and maybe the fall of Sephora. But we don't know if Sephora is really falling, because when I just looked at their earnings from a quarter perspective, they looked like they were doing very well as Ulta. But there are differences in the actual retailer. So let's talk about that first, and what we are seeing at Ulta that could possibly, they're coming in strong. They're coming in strong.
Could turn the tide.
Let's talk about the things that kind of how they're similar and how they're different.
So I first want to say that kind of like my impressions of Ulta versus Sephora, like historically, I've always kind of thought of Sephora more as mid and higher end brands compared to Ulta. Not that Ulta didn't necessarily have some mid to high end brands occasionally, but their prominent offerings to me were more drugstore based. And when I started shopping at Ulta, it was back when I wore a lot of drugstore makeup and more of the lower end brands, and Ulta was more of a go-to store for me. And as I've gotten more and more into higher end brands, I kind of switched more to Sephora. So that's kind of where my mindset has always been. So I have to say, I typically shop more at Sephora than I do at Ulta, but that might be changing.
Yeah. And I think what kind of brought on this topic is Lexi and I were really kind of thinking, oh my gosh, Chanel. Now, Chanel's been at Ulta, well, particular stores, and it's only, for example, in North and South Carolina, like near where I live, there's only one store that carries Chanel in-house, like in the store. And they just went straight up on the website last month, Chanel did, and they got their own line. Like Chanel did an exclusive line with Ulta and of course Chanel.com, but it's not going to be sold at Neiman's or Saks or Nordstrom, nowhere else. So in the States, of course, they'll be selling other places elsewhere, but that kind of like was eye-opening to me.
It was surprising. I thought maybe the Chanel #1 line would start off at Ulta, and then after like maybe a month or a few weeks, it would start moving to the other retailers. But when I reached out to my SA at Chanel, she was told that no, it's staying Ulta and Chanel only. So that was very surprising to me. And I think that's something that kind of brings up Ulta's stock in my mind, not necessarily their monetary stock, although I'm sure it has a positive effect on that as well.
Yeah. And we see so many more high-end brands at Sephora, but I feel like as as the tides are changing a little bit, Ulta's getting Chanel, they're getting a lot of really high-end beauty, clean beauty. So they have this whole clean beauty section on their website now, which is good stuff. I mean, good stuff. And then they are really into some other brands. Like we've just seen Hourglass come to Ulta. I think, they've always had like NARS and Lancome and Estee Lauder and those types of brands too, but
they didn't have very many offerings from them though. It was like selected items. And I feel like now they are expanding what they're offering. And in contrast, Sephora, who is owned by LVMH, which it baffles me. They carry LVMH brands, but not all of them. And even then, they only carry selected items. Like, I feel like since they are owned by LVMH, we should be able to get all those Dior palettes,
I know.
It's kind of odd because you never know what's going to go to which retailers. And since they are owned by LVMH, I just kind of thought, you'd get more.
You know what I'm really curious about, and I don't know, But since they are LVMH, how can they carry all these other brands that aren't LVMH?
Well, they're owned by LVMH, but they didn't start off that way. So I think that's the big
Interesting.
thing. Because Sephora is actually a French retailer originally, right?
Right. You're right. Definitely. Now, both retailers did really well, did very, very well in their earnings for the past quarter. And I mean, they're doing well. I mean, both are really good. Now, of course, Sephora is their earnings were a lot more than Ulta. But as we continue to see more of Ulta invest in these higher brands and in their customers, I will say they're investing more in their customers. Just as a customer, I can, in my opinion, I feel as though they're investing more in their customers than maybe Sephora, because there's an amazing points rewards program at
Mm-hmm.
Ulta, whereas at Sephora, that is not very good anymore. It used to be so
No.
good, and that has prevented me from really wanting to shop there in a lot of ways.
Yes. And, even the perks of having like VIB Rouge or something at Sephora are not as good as they used to be. You used to get like the free expedited shipping for a
Yeah.
year. The sales were more exclusive. Like, even now, I know there were definitely a large number of people who were very upset when Sephora did like the blanket 20% off
Yes.
at the end of the year, where it used to be like a VIB Rouge type thing. Or, well, actually, I guess we used to get what was it? It was like a dollar off of
Yeah.
$75
Yeah.
purchase, which they replaced with this blanket 20% off for everybody. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they're losing exclusivity with some of the tiers. And I do have to say, though, that Sephora samples have gotten better. So I think their samples and their beauty offers have gotten better over the past year. There was a time when no matter what samples I requested, I never got the ones I requested if I got
Mm-hmm.
samples in my package. But now I pretty much always get what I ask for. And I feel like they have better products in their beauty offers. They go quickly, but that's there. But I also feel like Sephora is kind of trying to pull the wool over people's eyes sometimes with some of their reward perks, like their trade in X number of points for 15% off your purchase and
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Or
So
$10 for 500.
it's a little insulting. It's like,
Like, I just spent $500 at your store and you're giving me 10. Like,
mm-hmm.
how does that work out? So,
Yeah, Ulta's reward program is definitely better.
mm-hmm.
So
And
we'll
then
see.
too, I really like online at Ulta, they have their sampler packs sometimes, if you can catch those. And then they do 5 times if you buy this product, or 5 times points if you do like this type of product, like hair care, or they'll do their jumbo sale for leaders and all that. So that is like, I don't know, that if you think about the incentives provided by each retailer, Ulta wins hands down. I'd love
Yes.
to know everyone else's opinions, because I mean, these are just like seeing my opinions, but
Right. Everything here, opinion, not fact.
we're just really curious, because do you see Sephora kind of declining from it, just in your head? Like in your head, do you kind of see Sephora declining? I've seen so many brands pull out of Sephora. Coke
Like
and
Surat.
Joe, Surat, who else? It's there 1 minute and the next minute it's not. And so that's kind of,
They did get Westman Atelier last year, though, which was, I thought, like a big boost for Sephora.
right.
That surprised me too, actually. But I feel like Westman Atelier is expanding to a lot of places as well.
Right. No, I agree. You can buy them at Nordstrom and all these other retailers as well. But I think it'd be really cool to hear your thoughts and comments down below, because is Ulta gaining up? Are they coming Are they coming up? Are they what is it? The hare and the snail, the turtle, the hare, the tortoise and the hare?
I'm like, seriously?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that a good analogy or is that terrible?
No, that's a good analogy.
Curious to hear your thoughts down below. Let us know. What do you think, Lex? Sephora still on your like I'd rather buy from?
Right now, for me, Sephora is still a go-to more so than Ulta, but I have to say I have gotten a different perspective of Ulta, and it's something I check out there more now. So, I mean,
what
yeah,
would incentivize you to shop at Ulta more than Sephora? The types of brands carried?
it's gonna be mostly brand based for me, and how early they get those products, because if I weren't on YouTube, that wouldn't matter quite so much to me, because
Exactly.
then it's more about the sales and the deals and the rewards. But for me personally now, it's about who can get them first.
Yep.
So,
And Sephora has not been getting products first at all.
they've been getting some things though on time, like the Tom Ford quads and stuff.
Yeah,
So
but I mean,
it just depends. It's
but
just
with their shipping and everything, I'm going to order from a different retailer because their shipping's
yes, yeah,
terrible.
I would agree with that. Their shipping has been a little slow. The last thing I ordered from there, I can't remember what it was, but it took, I picked like the faster shipping, and it still took like over a week for it to ship out.
I'm still on the Sephora bandwagon for sure, but I've really been looking at Ulta a little bit more, specifically since, Chanel's there and I've seen a lot of their cleaner beauty coming there and stuff like that. That has been intriguing to me. And yeah, we'll see. So let us know,
Definitely.
guys. Let us know down below your thoughts. We're curious to hear. And don't forget to share. Don't be shy. Share the video, subscribe below. We'd love for you to be here. So thank you guys so much for watching.
We'll see you next Sunday. Have a
Bye,
great
y'all.
week. Bye.